What's going on, everybody? K to the 2 here with the Battle Union Season 4, Week 1. This week we are going up against Dokes. Sergeant and Dokes, coach of the Dendemille Dedenne. That's an alliteration name, and I am triggered. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really that triggered. Well, I mean, I don't like alliteration names, but I'm not actually that triggered. Anyway, we have a match here. We have a match. I have a team, and he has a team. Now, I'm not going to go over completely exactly everything about my team right now, because I did upload a team analysis yesterday that, if you haven't checked out, I will leave a link down in the description below if you are interested in knowing what I brought, why I brought it, and the reasoning behind the whole team, why it works, why I thought it would work. I'm trying to make sense and it just doesn't work. Okay. Anyway, I will go over a brief overview of what I am bringing. I am bringing a Fire Spin and Toxic Mega Charizard X. I am bringing a Bulk Up Taunt Crocodile with the Roselli Berry. I'm bringing a Max Spadef Ferrothorn, a Max Physically Defensive Lickilicky. I'm bringing a Reflect type Starmie, and I am bringing the Diancie with Therium Z and Moonblast to get a really strong Twinkle Tackle, and also it has the Stealth Rocks. So that's our team, and looking at his team, he didn't bring a couple of things that I was expecting. I was expecting either Camerupt or Rhyperior. He didn't bring either. So that means Hidden Power Water on Mega Charizard is really only useful for Mamoswine, which is still okay, because the Hidden Power Water is a 2-hit KO against a Mamoswine. It does 50 to 60%, so that's nice. Also, looking at his team, I see only Ditto as like his main way of checking Zard. So like I'm pretty sure he's Scarfed. That way he can go ahead, switch in, go for Outrage, and revenge my Zard. But that's like, I see that coming, and I prepared for that because my Zard isn't Dragon Dance. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the lead matchup. We can start that up. I'm expecting either his Ditto or his Tapu Koko as a lead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead with Mega Charizard X. That way I can get off a Fire Spin and start Toxicking some things, which would be very nice, as Zard does do some things and stuff against his team. Especially because the only thing that can really beat it 1v1 is his Mamoswine, which is really nice to know, because Zard is just really nice for his whole team. So we do nail the prediction on the turn 1. He leads with the Tapu Koko, and we lead with the Zard, so I got that right. And I'm just going to stay in here, knowing that he can't really do too much to us. He's going to go for the U-turn, nail a crit, which does a little bit of damage, but also it's not that big of a deal. He turns out to be Life Orb, which is good information to know for later. And what I wanted to do here is I wanted to go for the Fire Spin, expecting him to Volt Switch or U-turn out, and catch either Mandibuzz, Alomomola, Ditto, whatever wanted to come in. So he does go into the Mandibuzz, and we're just going to fire off a Toxic here, knowing that he cannot switch out because he is trapped by the Fire Spin. So I'm expecting either a Whirlwind, a Roost. He goes for the U-turn, which is also just fine for us. And he's going to get on out of there, but that's completely fine. His Mandibuzz is already only at 2/3 of its health and Toxic. And right here he brings in Mamoswine, so I'm kind of fearing him to be Scarfed, so I'm going to go straight into Lickilicky here. And I had no reason to stay in with Zard there anyway, even if he wasn't Scarfed, because I can't kill him with anything that I go for. And he actually turns out to be Choice Banded Mamo, because that did about 50%. And I'm going to take another turn to click Protect here to get another thing of leftovers back. That way I can Wish Protect all the way up, and I can show him that I am willing to stay in here in order to stall him out of earthquakes. Completely fine with me. We do get up to 128. I did the calc. If he is adamant, choice banded max attack, he can do a maximum of 124 damage. We are sitting at 128, and he doesn't get the crit, which is very nice. And we can just sit in here and stall this completely out of earthquakes before we run out of wishes and protects, which is very, very nice to know. So we're just going to click Protect here, as he is going to make the switch out into his Alolan Muck. Now, Alolan Muck is kind of it's a thing. And I really didn't want him to knock me off here, because I need the leftovers in order to take on Mamoswine, and if I lose them, then I can't take on Mamoswine, and because he is banded, I can't really take it on too well. He's going to go for the knockoff here, and we are going to go into our Diancie. He actually gets the Poison Touch here, which kind of blows, because it means if he connects with his Gunk Shot here, we will be going down because we have no bulk investment. We're just going to take this time to get up our rocks. I was max speed modest, so I was pretty certain that I would be able to get those up. He does go for the Gunk Shot, and he lands, and we're going to go down after 2 rounds of Poison and the Gunk Shot, which is unfortunate because we could have gotten off a Twinkle Tackle against his team, which would have been really, really good damage. So right here I'm going to go into Crocodile. He sees that I'm not Intimidate, which means I'm Moxie. So I'm just going to force him out and go for the bulk up. And he's actually going to go straight into Alomomola, which was a good play on his part. I don't want him to go for the Scald here and get a burn. I would be able to 2-hit KO this unless it's max HP, max defense. But I don't really want to take that risk. I just want to go straight back into my Megazard so I can just roost up on whatever this Aloe wants to go for. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the Roost just to keep my Zard healthy. I'm pretty sure I go for the Roost at least. Actually, no. Wow, I go for the Fire Spin. Trying to trap the Aloe, which was pretty nice. He's going to go for the Toxic, and right here I am going to try and Toxic his Alomomola as well. I do have the Heal Bell on Lickilicky, which makes me less, overall less worried for taking on this Aloe, because he has Toxic, I have Toxic. Eventually we're just gonna end up having like a 50-50 kind of shenanigans with going for Protects and Toxics. So with all these after turn effects, this battle might last a little bit longer than usual. And we are going to try and roost up in order to stay out of range of like of a Scald of banded Ice Shard from Mamoswine. So we're just gonna Roost. I could have Toxic this turn, but I didn't want him like critting with Scald and then also the poison damage starting to rack up. So what I want to do here is I want to go into Lickilicky, and I want to go for the Heal Bell in order to get this Toxic off. I know that I could have Toxic to this Alomomola and we would have been in similar predicaments to where we were both Toxic. However, I have a Heal Beller on my team, he doesn't, so I felt like it was better to try and trap it and go for the Toxic and the Fire Spin and kind of shenanigans. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go straight for the Heal Bell like I had said previously, and he is actually going to go ahead and go straight into his Alolan Muck, which again is going to be kind of a problem because it's hard to switch into, I've figured out, mostly because I can't let my physically defensive thing get knocked off and lose its leftovers. So what I'm going to do here, I do get the Heal Bell off. I could go for Protect. I think I actually do go for the Protect first. Maybe? No, I don't. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to go straight into Ferrothorn, as he does make the play and goes for Pursuit, which was a good play, I guess. But it keeps Lickilicky just outside of range to die to an EQ. So right here, I do go into Ferrothorn, and I'm scouting for the Fire Blast to see if he has it. But instead, he goes for the knockoff again, gets the Poison Touch, Poison, so he's 2 for 2 on those, which is pretty nice. I should say 2 for 3 because he didn't get it on the Pursuit. If he got it on the Pursuit, that would have been really bad. So right here, I am expecting him to go for the Gunk Shot because after a Roost and the Poison damage, it will be doing more than I get back. So basically right here, I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Leech Seed. And I'm going to go back into Lickilicky, I think. It's either Lickilicky or Zard that I go into. Yeah, this part of the match I don't really remember because I'm just trying to get some chip damage on Muck because I'm fairly certain that it's Assault Vest. And I could have gone for double Seeds, which is actually, I think, what I do end up going for. His Mandibuzz is taking a lot of damage. Yes, I do go for the double Seed, expecting him to switch out. He saw that he wasn't doing too much damage to Ferrothorn, and I could have just protected in order to get back some more Leech Seed recovery from the Muck. So, Ferrothorn is sitting at a very nice amount of health again, and I'm expecting him 100% to go for the Roost here, because if he does not go for the Roost, he's going to lose his Mandibuzz to the Stealth Rocks the next time that it switches in. So I'm going to make this, take this as an opportunity to go into my Zard and just click Roost. There was nothing that Mandibuzz really could have done about it. We're just going to get some Leech Seed recovery and then Roost on the following turn. That way Zard is going to be healthy again. The poison put me in a position where I really wanted to make that play. If I wasn't poisoned, I would have been a little bit more hesitant to switching Zard in right there. But he is going to switch here because he knows that I'm going for the Roost, and we're just going to get healthy again. Keeping Zard healthy was more important than nailing this Mamoswine on the switch-in. And there was I really did not want to risk going for Hidden Power Water. I felt like that would have been a bad play against a Mandibuzz when it could have just Roost stalled me. So right here, I am going to go out into my Ferrothorn in order to sack it off. It is specially defensive, and I have other ways of dealing with Tapu Koko, especially since I can I can basically stall out his team with Megazard as soon as Mamo goes down. So I'm going to click Protect before I go down in order to get off, in order to stall him out of more Earthquakes, because it'll make it easier for Lickilicky to take on Mamoswine 1v1. So right here, I'm going to go into Starmie, and I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Scald. As he goes into, I believe that's his Ditto. Yeah, he goes into Ditto. He's going to see, after taking the Stealth Rocks damage, that I don't have Rapid Spin. He might have thought that I had Rapid Spin in order to Rapid Spin himself, but he's going to see that my whole set, I have Dual Stab, Scald Psychic, Reflect type recovery, and he's going to see, oh, I can't do anything to him, and I don't really want to take a Scald Burn, and I'm going to stay in here, go for another Scald. Hopefully get off some big damage against something, hopefully get off a burn. And I actually do catch the Tapu Koko on the switch-in, which is very, very nice. And we do manage to get a burn. However, the burn didn't really matter because this Tapu Koko was going to go down to its own Life Orb on the following turn. And I decide, you know what? We're just going to stay in here because A, I feel like he might want to try and catch Crocodile on the switch, go for U-turn, which wouldn't kill us. Or B, I just felt like if I let Starmie go down, I still would have been in a great position because Zard could still take on the rest of his team. Crocodile could still take on the rest of his team, especially after Tapu Koko goes down. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go straight for the Reflect type. I don't want to take a knockoff. I don't want to take a Pursuit. That's why I had the Reflect type in the first case. It's just for Alola Muck, because it resists itself. Like, Dark resists Dark, Poison resists Poison, so like any stab that he goes for is now going to be resisted. I don't take super effective damage from the knockoffs. He actually misses Gunk Shot, kind of unfortunate, but then again, it's not doing too much damage. And right here, I'm going to go for the Scald, and I am going to get the burn on the first try. Very, very nice. Eventually, I was going to get it, so it didn't really matter, because he wasn't going to be doing 50% with his Gunk Shot against my Starmie. I'm pretty much max HP, and I resist the Gunk Shot. So there was no way I was going to do 50%, and I could just recover stall him. And that's actually what I'm going to do here, is I am going to recover stall him in order to stay as healthy as I can. And he's going to do about 20% every time. And Burn is going to start wearing him down. And right here I figure, hey, Scald might be able to take him out after the next round of burn damage. So I'm just going to recover up one more time, and then I'm going to go for the Scald. Unfortunately, it turns out that I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but unfortunately, it turns out that I was wrong. I thought that I could do 20% with Scald. Absolutely not. Muck is a monster with the Assault Vest. Luckily, we get rewarded for it, though. We get rewarded for the misplay, as he does miss the Gunk Shot on that turn. So we're at the exact amount of health that we would have been at. Can I pause right here? Yeah, oh, dang it! There. Nope. There. Okay. So, that was unfortunate. He brings in Mamoswine. Pause. Thank you. Stupid piece of shit. So, I'm gonna pause right here. I know that all I need against this Mamoswine now is a little bit of damage, and then Zard wins. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the Scald, and because I don't have stab on it anymore, I'm not going to be able to kill. However, just getting off any sort of chip damage against it, potentially getting a burn, would be completely fine. It's a completely fine trade-off in order to sack Starmie in order to get off damage against this Mamoswine. So I'm thinking, you know what, let's just go ahead, go for the Scald, and we can just end up winning with Zard. It's going to take a while because I do have to Fire Spin and Toxic things and wear them down over time, but as soon as Mamoswine goes down, I feel like I have won the game. So that's pretty much my thinking here on this play. So I'm just going to go ahead, stay in here. We can get off of there. Can those arrows go away, please? Thank you. So we do land the burn on the Mamoswine, but then again, it didn't really matter because he's going to knock us out anyway, and we can revenge him with literally anything that we would have wanted. So I am going to go... excuse me. I am going to go ahead, and because he is burned, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to go into Lickilicky and go for the Wish. He is burned, so he's not going to be able to do really anything. So we're going to Wish as he goes into the Ditto, and he's going to see our set. He's going to see that we have Body Slam, Heal Bell, Wish, Protect. He already knew those three. So he can't really do anything to us with his... or with my own Lickilicky, especially assuming that he is Scarfed. So he might be just going for a Wish. He can't Heal Bell. He can't Heal Bell off the burn. Well, I mean, he could Heal Bell the burn from Mamoswine, but it's going to die to the Stealth Rocks anyway when it comes back in. So we're just going to go for a Heal Bell ourselves, and we are going to get rid of the Poison. I think that was Toxic. Or maybe it was... no, that was the regular Poison that was on Zard. So we get rid of that, fortunately enough. And right here, I could just stall out this Lickilicky, basically. So he's going to go into his Mamoswine, sack it off to the Stealth Rocks, which is completely fine. And right here, we're going to go ahead. I forget what I go for. It didn't really matter. I went for the Body Slam, knowing that I could 1v1 myself. So in comes Mandibuzz here. He's going to take the Stealth Rocks. And right here, I'm going to make pretty much a power play, knowing that he's going to go for the Roost. I'm going to Wish and then switch straight into Zard, knowing that he can't do anything to Zard. If he has Toxic, that's fine. If he taunts, well, if he were to taunt against a Lickilicky, I would kind of question that, because Lickilicky has Oblivious and it can't be taunted. So we go into Zard, knowing that he can't really do anything to us. He's going to go for the U-turn, and he's going to make the switch out into his Alomomola. And we are going to get right back up to full. I was wrong. He goes into his Ditto, trying to see what kind of coverage I have. Maybe hoping that I had Earthquake on it, Earthquake or Dragon Claw or something of the sort. But he now sees that he can't do anything to himself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go straight for the Fire Spin. And that's great because Mandibuzz comes back in. He's right at 50%, and after the Fire Spin, we're going to be able to take on this Mandibuzz. And I can just spam Fire Spin. I actually think Hidden Power would have done more, even after Stab. So I should have been going for Hidden Power. But I am going to go for the Fire Spin. I just barely miss out on the KO, but that's actually fine. Because you're going to see that the Fire Spin and the Toxic damage after turn effects is going to put him in range every time to go back down to Stealth Rocks every time it comes back in. So it's just a matter of he's going to Roost stall in order to basically waste time, is basically what this is going to end up being. Like, he could U-turn out just as fine, but he's going to lose his Mandibuzz no matter what. Because every time he's going to be put right back into range in order to die to Stealth Rocks plus whatever else I want to go for. So, like, this part of the game, this part of the match is pretty repetitive. But Zard is going to be able to pick up the KO here. And basically, it's going to be able to pick up the last 3 KOs of the match. It's pretty inevitable that I am going to be able to Toxic and Fire Spin stall out his Alomomola and my own thingamajig. So right here, he's going to go for the taunt as he goes down, realizing finally that he can't get out of this without losing his Mandibuzz. And he's going to go into Alomomola, which is fine with me, because I can just go for the Fire Spin right off the bat. And if he goes for Toxic, that's fine. He's going to Protect, actually, first, wasting a turn of my own taunt. So that's just sooner that I'm going to be able to Toxic this Alomomola. And if he Toxics my Zard, as long as I get off a Fire Spin and a Toxic on this, I can go into Lickilicky, Heal Bell off the Toxic and come right back in with my Zard and basically win the game. So that's basically the game. It's going to take a while, and he actually, well, he does make a few good plays here coming up, expecting me to switch out into Lickilicky after I get my Toxic on this Aloe, as he protects again, wasting a little bit of time trying to Toxic stall my Zard. My taunt wears off, and we can finally go for the Toxic against the Alomomola. It's just becoming a stall fest where it's inevitable that Zard is going to get the last couple kills. There are going to be a couple times where he can switch into Lickilicky as I go for Heal Bell and Heal Bell his own stuff, but every time he does that, he just he basically gives up a turn where I can go for Toxic with my Zard, or Fire Spin and start wearing down the rest of his team. So every time I bring in Lickilicky, he can go into Ditto in order to get off his own heal bell, but then I come right back in with Zard and I can do the same thing, and you can see that it's going to get pretty repetitive here. So right excuse me, right here is where I make the play into Lickilicky, and I'm going to go for the heal bell, and I'm going to go for the wish, hoping to get Zard right back up to full. And basically all I need to do is keep Zard healthy and roost off any damage that I accumulate after getting Toxic, and all I need to do is Toxic with Zard against the Lickilicky, or basically my own Lickilicky that gets impostered right here. So I'm going to heal bell, and then I'm going to wish. Lickilicky itself could also just 1v1 the rest of his team as soon as I take out this Lickilicky. I think right here, yeah, he does go for the heal bell to get the Toxic off of Aloe, and we're right back where we were about 10 turns ago. But again, it's pretty inevitable that Zard is going to pick up the last couple kills. It's just I need to get in with Zard against Alomola and not be taunted. Like the last time that it came in, I was taunted, he was not, so he was able to get off a Toxic before all that. So we're going to come in with Zard now, and this time we are going to be able to go for the Toxic, and we are going to start wearing down the Alomola. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to Toxic. There's the Toxic on the Alomola, and as soon as we Fire Spin this, Alomola goes down, and we pretty much just win. And he misses the Toxic here, which makes it even easier for Zard to win this match. And he's actually going to flee right here. So we were up 3-2, and Zard was rewarded the last 2 kills of that match. So it ended up going 3-0, catching the last 3 things on his team after we dismantled his offensive threats. That's there we go. So we are starting off the season in TBU 1-0 at +3. Very nice. I'm very happy with the way that I planned, especially because he did bring Scarf Ditto, which would have been huge detriment to our Dragon Dance Megazard if we had brought that. However, we didn't, and like, this match was very long. It ended up being 56 turns at the time that he fled. Probably would have been 65 to 70 turns in total, because it takes a long time with the Fire Spin and the Toxic. It takes a lot of turns, rather. It doesn't really take a lot of time. There was still like 20 minutes left of the match, in which Zard had to take out Alomola and his Ditto, which was remaining. So that's basically going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, I don't know how you did, because I normally don't play stall, but I I decided it was a good bring this week, and if you enjoyed it, go ahead and leave a like. If you didn't enjoy it and you just want to support me, go ahead and also leave a like. It helps me out, helps out the TBU, and that's going to be it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.